like to call a regular meeting of April 1st, 2019 to order. The notice requirements provided in the Open Publics Meeting Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given in the new schedule of meetings of the Spotswood Borough Council on December 20th, 2018. The new schedule was transmitted to the Home News Tribune and Sentinel. It was filed with the clerk of the Borough of Spotswood and posted in the municipal building located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey.
Councilman Ritchie?
Here.
Councilman Rivera?
Here.
Councilman Malillo?
Here.
Councilman Kramer?
Here.
Council President Spacuzzo?
Here.
Mayor Sealy?
We're going to stand for a salute to the flag, and if we could just keep them in our thoughts, Steve Sabo Jr. and Florence Hellstern. Steve was a member of the VFW and the Polish American Club for many years, and Florence was a former secretary of the Spotswood Seniors. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
We have some minutes to approve. We have the minutes from the caucus meeting, March 18, 2019.
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo?
Yes.
We have the regular meeting minutes for March 18, 2019.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second it.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo?
Yes.
We have an ordinance on first reading. Public hearing is set for April 15, 2019. Ordinance number 2019-3, an ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 140 nuisances, adding Section 140-6, public nuisance.
I make a motion to pass this ordinance on first reading, advertise it according to law, and set the public hearing for April 15th, 2019.
Second.
Second.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo?
Yes.
We have another ordinance on first reading. Public hearing is set for April 15th, ordinance 2019-4, an ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 127 licensing, adding Article 3, Section 127-20 et sec, health spas and related uses.
Make a motion to pass this ordinance on first reading,
Second it.
Second.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even let you finish.
advertise it according to law, and set a public hearing for April 15th, 2019. You guys in a rush tonight?
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo?
Yes.
We had resolutions under consent agenda, resolutions 2019-63 through 2019-67 as an added resolution. I need a,
Make a motion.
Make a motion to
move
pass the resolution.
Resolutions 2019-63 through 67.
all in favor?
Aye.
Now we have proclamation.
We have a few proclamations to read tonight, so I'm not picking on anybody, I'm just going in the order that they're on the sheet. So Jose, you're up first.
Okay.
I'll go down there.
Just driving, distracted driving awareness month, 2019. Whereas the Borough of Spotswood holds the health and safety of its citizens paramount, and whereas distracted driving is a serious life-threatening practice that is preventable, and whereas distracted driving can result in injuries, death to all who uses the road, motorists, pedestrians, bicyclists, and whereas distracted driving occurs when drivers divert their attention away from tasks of driving, focus on another activity instead of, whereas such activity includes, but are not limited to texting, using their cell, smartphones, grooming, reading, using navigation system. However, because of using of handheld cell phones to make calls, and send text messages require visual, manual, and continued attention from the driver. They are by far the most alarming distraction, and whereas increasing health of well-being of Spotswood citizens are a direct result of increasing enforcement and awareness about the danger of distracted driving. And whereas in order to reduce the number of crashes as well as improve driver safety, Spotswood motorists shall commit and adopt and maintain safe behavior while behind the wheels. And whereas April has been selected as National Distracted Driving Awareness Month with the period of April 1st through April 21st designated as National Distracting Driving Enforcement Campaign. And whereas increasing the high visibility of enforcement and distracting driving law coupled publicly and approved to be their effective method to reduce distract driving and save life. Now, therefore, I, Ed Seeley, Mayor of Borough of Spotswood, together with our governing body, do hereby proclaim the month of April as National Distracted Driving Awareness Month in the Borough of Spotswood, and urge all citizens to always put their cell phone down and focus on the road and buckle up when driving on the road. Dated April 1st, 2019.
Thank you. John?
Yeah.
At this time, John's going to read National Library Week proclamation. We ask the representatives from the library to come forward, please. Welcome.
Thank you.
You can come around this side, so you're facing the camera, actually. So show them throughout the
I
borough.
would have had my makeup done.
To celebrate National Library Week, April 7th to the 13th, and libraries are strong for the community. Whereas today librarians are not just about books, but what they do for the public, the people. And whereas libraries of all types are the heart of the cities, towns, schools, and campuses. And whereas libraries have long served as trusted and treasured institutions where people of all backgrounds can get together and connect. And whereas libraries and librarians build strong communities through transformative services, programs, and expertise. And whereas libraries which promote the free exchange of information and ideas for all are cornerstones of democracy. And whereas libraries that promote civic engagements by keeping people informed and aware of communities, events, and issues. And whereas librarians and library workers partners with civic organizations to make sure that the community's needs are being met. And whereas librarians empower their communities to make informed decisions by providing free access to information, and whereas librarians are resources of all members of the community regardless of race, ethnicity, that's a tough one, and creed and ability to sexual orientation, gender, identity, or socioeconomic status by offering services and educational resources and transform lives and strengthening the communities. And whereas libraries and librarians and library workers and supporters across America are celebrating National Library Week. Now, therefore, to be resolved that I, Ed Seeley, Mayor of Spotswood, Borough of Spotswood, to gather all our governing body, proclaim National Library Week, April 7th to the 13th of this year. I encourage all ages of all residents to visit the Spotswood Public Library this week to explore what's new at your library and engage with your librarian because of you. Libraries are transformed. Dated April 1st, 2019. Honorable Ed Seeley, Mayor.
Thank you, John. We also invite you guys, we're having open houses this Saturday. We hope that you all are going to get to go or come to it. It's just going to be for the council. We'd like you to come see our library. We've done a lot of new things to it. And we also had something donated to us, what is it? Arrowhead.
Yeah.
From Jolly, Mr. Jolly from town. And it's unbelievable to see the amount of there's even like hatchets that the Indians used, that were all found in Spotswood. So we'd like to have you guys come, please.
What time Saturday?
At 9
9 to
o'clock. You
11.
should have gotten an email about it. But, yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Did your daughter get the...
I was going to announce that, Rich, Charlie.
Probably come Saturday.
I was going to announce.
Yeah, you can still announce.
Because you guys need to get those in.
I got that paper.
Because we need people to vote.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
library stuff.
I mean,
The library stuff.
Okay. National Volunteer Week.
National
Take it away,
Volunteer
Larry.
Week. Whereas National Volunteer Week was established in 1974 as an annual celebration of volunteerism, a time to recognize and celebrate the efforts of volunteers at the local, state, and national levels. And whereas National Volunteer Week honors all those who reach out to the others through volunteer community service and calls attention to the need for more community services for individuals, groups, and families to help solve serious social problems that affect our communities. And whereas the Borough of Spotswood has been fortunate in that for many years we have had numerous individuals and groups come forward to unselfishly give their time, talent, services, and resources to benefit our residents. And whereas people of all ages can volunteer through the smallest acts to do their part to improve the lives of others in our community. And we encourage more people to make service an integral part of their lives. Now, therefore, I, Ed Seeley, Mayor of the Borough of Spotswood, together with our governing body, do hereby proclaim April 7th through April 13th, 2019, National Volunteer Week, and call upon all citizens to recognize and acknowledge the contributions made by the many volunteers within our borough. Further, I call on all residents to observe this week by volunteering in service projects within the borough and in larger community, and to look within their hearts to make service a part of their daily lives, thereby improving the quality of life for others. Dated April 1st, 2019.
Thank you, Larry. Mr. Mayor?
Okay. Before I start, I want to say about National Volunteer Week, there is nothing more rewarding. I mean, we sit up here in this job and sometimes it drives you out of your mind because you don't know whether you're appreciated or wanted dead. But when you do National Volunteer Week, it's just unreal. I mean, it came down to a bunch in my life, but the one that sticks out the most was a young girl I coached for softball, invited me to her college signing, and not her high school coach. So that's very rewarding to know that they care that much about you. Okay, that being said, whereas local government and the government closest to most citizens are the one with the most direct daily impact upon its residents, and whereas local government provides services and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents, making their municipality their home. And whereas local government is administered for and by its citizens and is dependent upon public commitment to and understanding of its many responsibilities, and whereas local government officials and employees share the responsibility to pass along the understanding of public services and their benefits. And whereas New Jersey Local Government Week offers an important opportunity for elected officials and local government staff to spread the word to all citizens of New Jersey that they can shape and influence this branch of government. And whereas the New Jersey State League of Municipalities and its member municipalities have joined together to teach citizens about the municipal government through a variety of activities. Now therefore, I, Ed Seeley, Mayor of the Borough of Spotswood, together with our governing body, proclaims the week of April 7th through 13th, 2019 to be New Jersey Local Government Week, and encourages all citizens, local government officials, and employees to participate in events that recognize and celebrate New Jersey Local Government Week. Encourages educational partnerships between local government and schools, as well as civic groups and other organizations. and supports and encourages all New Jersey local governments to actively promote and sponsor New Jersey Local Government Week, dated April 1st, 2019, signed by myself. Again, that is New Jersey Local Government Week.
Thank you. Ted?
Whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month and the observance of Denim Day calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every community member of Middlesex County. The goal of Sexual Assault Awareness Month is to raise public awareness about sexual violence, to educate communities on how to prevent it. And whereas rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment harm our community, and statistics show 1 in 5 women and 1 in 67 men will be raped at some point in their lives. Child sexual abuse prevention must be a priority to confront the reality that 1 in 6 boys and 1 in 4 girls will experience sexual assault before the age of 18. On campus, 1 in 5 women and 1 in 16 men are sexually assaulted during their time in college. And whereas the theme of this year's Sexual Assault Awareness Month is I Ask, the campaign champions the power of asking for consent, whether it is asking to hold someone's hand, for permission to share personal information with others, or if a partner is interested in sex. Consent is a clear, concrete example of what it takes to end sexual harassment, abuse, and assault. The goal of the campaign is to empower everyone to put consent into practice. I ask is the statement by which individuals will demonstrate that asking for consent is a healthy, normal, and necessary part of everyday interactions. And whereas for the past 20 years, Peace Over Violence has run its Denim Day campaign on a Wednesday in April in honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, a campaign that began after a ruling by the Italian Supreme Court overturned a rape conviction because the victim was wearing tight jeans. It was believed she must have helped the person who raped her remove the jeans, thereby implying consent. Women in the Italian parliament came to work wearing jeans the next day in solidarity with the victim. Since then, wearing jeans on Denim Day has become a symbol of protest against erroneous and destructive attitudes about sexual harassment, abuse, assault, and rape. Now, therefore, Ed Seeley, Mayor of the Borough of Spotswood, together with the governing body, do hereby proclaim April 2019 to be Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and join advocates in communities across the country in taking action to prevent sexual violence and supporting service programs in the belief that all community members must be a part of the solution. We also encourage community members, elected officials, businesses, and students to make social statement with their fashion statement by wearing jeans on Denim Day, which is on Wednesday, April 24th, as a visible means to protest against the misconceptions that surround sexual violence. Dated April 1st, 2019, Ed Seeley, Mayor.
Thank you, everybody. This time, any comments from liaisons, council members?
Yeah. Well, I got the,
Oh, go ahead, John.
what do you call it? All right, the Spotswood Municipal Alliance has an Easter basket for the kids there at the St. Peter's Patriotic Ward there in St. Peter's. Anyone wants to put a little Easter basket together? No candy, though. Absolutely no candy. Like coloring books, crayons, and pens, baby bottles, plastic eggs and stuff, no candy. Just small stuff, socks, gift cards, small toys. And if you want to reach out for the coordinator is Dawn Crandall. Her number is 908-208-8777. 908-208-8777. You can reach out for her, and she'll be happy to accept anything you can, give that there for St. Peter's Patriotic Ward for the kids. So it'd be nice if you do that. And I think there was something else. Yes, the library. I don't want to forget my library over there. That's for sure. That's Saturday the 9th. It's at 9 o'clock a.m. at open house at the library on Main Street, Spotswood Library. You'll have a little fun there. Be nice. And the director there, Quimble, she's a nice woman. She's right over there. Very nice lady. And she has a lot of help there. So step in there and treat yourself to whatever they got. 9 o'clock a.m., Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, the 6th.
Right.
This coming Saturday.
Right, the 6th.
Saturday, yeah, this Saturday night, yeah, this Saturday. Right, correct. That's right,
So the 6th at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
9 AM. That's it. That's all, President.
All right. Larry?
I have nothing.
Jose?
Just want to thank everybody that came out to the comedy show for the fire department. It was a great time. I got picked on, so that was all right. I had a great time. Also, I'd like to thank the cops for having their cookies with the Girl Scouts and everything, so that was a nice little turnout, seeing them kids, you know, especially taking a tour around police headquarters. And that's it.
Okay. Ted?
Just one thing, as a retired police officer myself and coming from an accredited agency, I know what these guys went through getting their accreditation. I just wanted to congratulate them also. There was a lot of work involved in that.
Thought of something, Larry?
Yeah, there's two things, actually. The first one is I was here for Cops and Cookies, or Cookies and Cops, too. It was pretty cool. The two Girl Scout troops went at each other in like a game where you had to, you know, like, what was it, Jeopardy? Yeah, they did like Jeopardy. It was pretty cool. It was a good time. So I enjoyed that. I also wanted to thank the mayor and a few other people from the township who, my mom passed away, and we had a memorial at the church on Saturday, and a lot more people showed up than I actually thought would be there, but it was very nice. The mayor came, and Pat was there, and a few others that wanted to come but were ill at the time, but it was very nice. My family was very happy that people showed up that really didn't know my mom. So I appreciated that very much. And that's about it.
I have a few things. Mr. Mayor, are you announcing the new members of REC, or do you mind if I do that, or?
Go for it.
Okay. Don't want to steal your thunder. I get yelled at that every
Yeah,
meeting.
it's stealing my thunder.
So I'd like to welcome 3 new members to the REC department. Mr. John Lavelle, Mr. Glenn Bettler, and Miss Angela Andre will be joining our REC board. So thank you for their volunteering. I'd also like to announce that the Easter egg hunt for the REC department will be held this Saturday. And T-ball starts 4/13, and opening day of Little League is April 14th. Also, one or two quick announcements for the police department. Last year, the police department partnered with Nicholas's Trek with Tourette's. It's a young boy in town who is fighting the disease, and he's got a fundraiser going on. So I did print out some copies of the website if anyone would like to make a donation. But the police department is having a awareness walk. It's going to be held on May 18th at 11 a.m., starting at Immaculate Conception Church, and they're walking to the Helmetta Pavilion. So we'd like to get as many residents as we can there. Nicholas's goal this year is to raise $3,000 for his cause, and at the moment, he's at $2,180. So anyone that can help out, it'd be much appreciated. That's all I have. It's up to you, Mr. Mayor.
Well, not much to talk about this week. As we talked about earlier tonight, I'm extremely proud of the police department and their accreditation. If you listen to the gentleman talk, he seemed to hint that not only did they do well, they did it pretty much faster than most do. That's a real credit to the department and the men in it. I attended the comedy show over at the fire department, which was quite hysterical. I'm glad my name is not Jose. Although I did get up and walk to the bar, and he did corner me once, but nowhere near as bad as he beat him up. But it was a good time, a lot of people there. Can't wait again for it next year. That's all I got.
I do have one more thing. It was brought to our attention that the voting districts that were in the schools was a concern for safety. And with the help and letters from our town clerk, we were able to move District 3 out of Appleby and District 4 out of Shonley, and they will both be going to the Knights of Columbus, starting in June's primary. The residents will be voting there for those 2 districts. And at this time, I'll take a,
Mr. Council President?
yes, sir.
There'll also be a notice going out to the public notifying you of this by mailer, because
Yes, everyone will be notified, and it is on our webpage, and it will be advertised in the paper, so all the registered voters in those 2 districts will receive a letter.
Make a motion open to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. At this time, any new business can come forward. Just state your name and address, please, for the record.
Cheryl Bass, 289 Main Street. I also want to say congratulations to the police that, as a taxpayer, and the gentleman who was presenting had said, that the taxpayers are involved. I always ask what the interest rate and the bonds and how much money is being paid and all that, and I'm always in favor of supporting the police department with the newest technology and all the upgrades and everything that they need to operate efficiently. And the gentleman was saying a very efficient and competent police force. So I do want to add my congratulations as a taxpayer for the wonderful police force that we do have. And I had looked up about Harvard because Elizabeth Warren, a senator from Massachusetts, is getting in the race for president. And she had said that with capitalism, it is cheating, you have to take from the rich people. I forget the exact word she used, but she said you have to take from the rich people. And I'm saying that's not what they teach up at Harvard. That's not capitalism. So I looked up, how did Harvard start? Mr. Harvard, Mr. John Harvard, had a library. He had books. And when he passed on, he said, I'll contribute my books, and you can start a library. And from there, they started Harvard. So she better look up in those books. Capitalism, that you work for it, you earn it, it's yours. It's capitalism. And I also want to say, because the mayor was saying about New Jersey local government, this is, why did we pick this community to move to? Why do we like Spotswood, that we continue to live here? This is very important, and I'm very glad that there's recognition for New Jersey local government. The past Thursday, the Yankees opened in Yankee Stadium. They won the game. And what do you see? The mayor of that city, New York City, is a fan of the Red Sox. So my comment is, you're a fan of the Red Sox, go to that town and become their mayor. You're the mayor, New York City, you're in favor of the Yankees. And that's the way it is. So I think that appreciation is to be given to the local government, that you've been elected to represent us. We love living here in Spotswood. We are here. We are the community, and you are our elected representatives. So I thank you very much.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Don't hate me, but I was born in Boston.
That brings Giuliani back. It's this guy.
Chris, Cowboy fan. Dulcie Branco Rivera. Since I've been complaining. It's been a complaint for 3 years to move the voting booths. I would just like to thank Pat and the council for finally removing them from the school district, even though I'm not on the board anymore. I think I can speak for them and say it is a welcoming day, and we are very pleased that that is no longer going to be an issue. And also thank you for the yard sale fee thing. So I have a question, because I can't get to planning board meetings. There was a development that was approved for off Dora. I think it's 20 houses on that little.
22.
Is it 22? Do we know like where that stands? I know it was approved, but I haven't seen anything happening with it, and I'm just wondering, like, did something get in the way?
Well, I don't think we can answer, they're at a stalemate right now, and I don't think I can answer that question because it's legal right now.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Colleen Ronco, 118 Manalapan Road. First, I want to congratulate the police department on the accreditation. I've always said that the cops in Spotswood are some of the best cops out there, so apparently I was right. A couple of other things. Let me just get here. Have we gotten the scanner and the IR thermal yet?
Dawn, do you know if Stu picked out the ones?
I'm
that
not
he's-
sure. I know he has the information.
Stu has the information. I don't know if he got back to us yet
Okay.
of which one he wanted, but he has all his paperwork that he
Okay,
needs. to do
perfect.
that.
The other thing is that being at April 1st and the weather's starting to get warmer, we're going to start getting the kitten population again that we had over the last couple of years over in Clearwater. I understand that North Brunswick Humane the last couple of years has done a TNR program over there, trapped and neutered those animals, given them their shots, and then released them back out. My concern is that although that's great that they're doing it, they've spent quite a bit of their own money doing so, nearly $11,000. I brought up to you 2 weeks ago when I was here the animal trust account. I was hoping that maybe we could put something together, take $2,500 of that money, set it aside for a trap and release program, so that these animals, they don't have to keep paying for those animals to be spayed and neutered, that we could actually take that money from that account, which is what it's meant for, and spay and neuter those animals, so that North Brunswick Humane can do, because they're all donations. So they're not getting any kind of funding from anybody. They're all, donations from you, me, and, standing out and doing whatever in front of ShopRite. So if we could do something with that and get some of that money transferred over so that it's earmarked just for TNR. I don't think you will need that much because the population is pretty much under control at this point, but there's always that one cat that's going to come in and have those 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 kittens. And the kittens aren't the problem, because the kittens you can always find home for. It's the adult, and especially if the adult is feral. There's really nothing else you can do. If you want to be humane about it, you have to release the cat back out. Otherwise, they're just going to go to a shelter and be killed, and I really hate to see that. And the population is under control, and does have a caretaker that's licensed with the state, it's my understanding. So if we could do that, that would be great. I mean, any way I can help, or what I have to do. Do I have to submit a formal letter, or do I need to send something to somebody asking them for that, or?
I think we could discuss it in more detail.
Who traps these cats?
North Brunswick Humane has been trapping them. So they've been doing it the last few years.
Setting traps for them? Is that-
Yeah, they set traps, and then they have, you have to set the trap, and then somebody usually stays or comes back every 30 minutes to an hour to make sure that there's nothing in the trap. You can't set the trap and then leave it for 3 days, because it's a very wide trap, very small trap. It's not wide at all, so the cat can't turn around. So the cat basically walks in, you put a can of food at the end, the cat walks into the trap. When it hits the plate, the rest of the door comes down on the cat, and the cat can't get out. So there's usually people that will actually sit and do it. I've known other TNR places where they'll set the traps and they'll park their car across the street, down the street, and when they hear the trap go off, they run up real quick, they throw a towel over it and pick the cage up and put it in the back, and then they usually go to People for Animals or someplace like that where they can get the spay and neutering done at a reasonable price. So, I'm just thinking that like maybe instead of North Brunswick Humane using their funds, we've got those funds available in that account, and if we could just maybe pay the bill over at People for Animals.
So the North Brunswick Humane would still trap? And do
Yeah,
what
they
have
would
to
still
do,
be
and this-
trapping.
So the 2,500 is more of a donation to them?
I wouldn't even say a donation, maybe we could just pay the bill.
Like a
You know,
reimbursement to
right,
them almost?
exactly. So like they could, like Spotswood would actually be physically billed. So they could, maybe they would pay it up front and then bill Spotswood for the $2,500 or whatever it is per cat, $60 or whatever it is. And like I said, it's not like we've got thousands of cats over here that we're going to need to take care of. Very rarely, and I mean, I've been here for years now, very rarely do I see a stray cat anywhere. But I know that they are confined over into that particular part of town. The other thing is that I brought this up the last time I was here about the Walnut Street German Shepherds and the fact that he has intentions of breeding those animals. He's got 6 German Shepherds right now, which have been loose numerous times over the course of the winter. They've been dogs at large. He has put up new kennels allegedly in the backyard where he's keeping these dogs pretty much 24/7. So I went and I looked into the E-code, and the E-code says that a kennel is any establishment wherein or whereon the business of boarding or selling dogs or breeding dogs for sale is carried on except as a pet shop. Then I went further and I looked, and it says there's a licensing requirement in Spotswood if you're going to have a kennel and if you're going to have a certain amount of animals. So it says, license required, a person who keeps, operates, or proposes to establish a kennel, pet shop, shelter, or pound shall apply to the clerk for a license. He shall not be required to secure individual licenses for his dogs he owns and keeps at such establishment, and his/her license shall not be transferable to any other owner or on different premises. Then I went and I looked, and it says kennels accommodating 10 or fewer dogs is $10 to license it. Accommodating more than 10 dogs is $25 to license it. I have to tell you, I am really dead set against this man breeding his 3 female dogs. We're going to wind up with 30-something dogs easily on Walnut Street in the middle of a development. And those dogs now, I mean, I was sitting down at somebody's house that's 6 houses down from them the other day, and those dogs started barking on that nice day that we had on Saturday, and you could clearly hear them in this backyard. So I can't imagine what it's going to be like if you have 6 dogs and 25 puppies.
So, Pat, has anyone applied for a license to do this? So it's something we can look into, Colleen. I know
Okay.
you had brought it up a couple weeks ago,
Do we
but
have anything on our zoning book?
No,
If it's kennels?
no. The only thing that's on the zoning book is that you can only have 5 animals, 5 licensed animals. I mean, this is in the middle of a development, and like I said, I'm very concerned about the amount of, and it's a very small home. It's not, the home is not a large home, it's a small home. So it's not like he could possibly even have these dogs inside for any length of time. I mean, maybe as puppies, they could be inside, 2, 3, 4-week-old puppies, but I mean, at some point, you're gonna have to start letting these puppies outside. You can't keep it's a 1-bedroom, it's a teeny tiny 1-bedroom house. So, and we have the issue of the dogs always getting loose. And the fact that one of the dogs is not the nicest dog, around. And I'm not trying to take anything, me, I'm all, hey, gung-ho animals, but I just don't think that, we start that precedent here, and then other people are going to be like, oh, well, the guy's breeding over on Walnut Street, let me breed over here on, blah, blah street and blah, blah street, and before you know it, we wind up with literally, puppy mills. And I don't want to see that happen either, so I just wanted to kind of bring that to everybody's attention again. And other than that, I think I'm done. Thank you. Oh,
thank you. We'll
anybody
look
have
into all those.
any- Okay, I appreciate it, thank you.
Good evening, Edward Smith, 395 Old Stage Road. And again, like everyone has been up here and the people on the dais, I want to give congratulations to the police department for a fine job they've done. My question is the accreditation. How long does that last?
It's a 3-year accreditation.
Okay, and obviously being a professional and having to deal with audits and stuff, obviously when you get audited, and it's basically the same process, I would imagine, okay, that the audit gets a little easier as you're getting re-reviewed, okay? And the process gets a little bit easier, but there's obviously a certain amount of work that has to be looked at and make sure that the standards are being followed. Maybe you don't know, or maybe you do. Does the accreditation, or maybe one of the gentlemen from the police department may know, does the accreditation process get a little easier when you go for like renewals and stuff?
I don't know for sure, I spoke
Yeah.
to the chief about it, and I don't believe it does. They're pretty stringent.
I mean, like I said, I know in audits, but they basically, I mean, they'll know where they're,
I think it might be easier along the lines of they found the information for the past 20 years. So they
Right.
might only be going back 3 years now.
right, okay.
So
right.
in that aspect, but I still think it's a pretty substantial undertaking.
Right,
even
right,
in 3 years.
right. Things have to be in order, but I would imagine the process is easier for exactly the reason you said, because now there may only be going back, not decades.
Right.
But, all right, thank you.
I can tell you from experience, at Woodbridge, it took us several months when the reaccreditation came around. You got 120 policies in place, whatever that number is. That's all well and good. There may be some changes that have to get done, but they still come back in, look at the police department, they still do the ride-alongs with the police officers, they still take the comments from the people in town, but it's not a 1.5 to 2 year process again.
Right.
In the beginning of the third year, they're going to start to get themselves set up for this. And it should only take them a few months to get.
Right, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what was my thought process. It's much tougher the first time
But the
you're going through.
accreditation manager is basically, for the next 3 years, is going to be making sure everything stays in place now, so he's not playing catch-up at the end. It's easier to spend 15, 20 minutes making sure things are right now, and at the end, you have everything all set. Here you go.
Good.
And that's the
Okay.
way, that's the way it was in our town, and I'm sure it's going to be the same thing here.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Make a motion to close the public portion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's it.